25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It was last week or so that I saw this report out of Southern California that they were finally getting some water back in their reservoirs. They had gone through such a drought. And if you think about people, you say, well, this probably can ship in water. And I was thinking about the animals. I was thinking, gosh, animals really depend on the rain. They really depend on the rain. And we just take water for granted, especially here in Central Florida. I mean, water is so abundant, and yet it's a very fragile situation, isn't it? I mean, something could happen. We could do it. Man-made things could happen, or some kind of hurricane or something could actually cause the water to be no good. So water is hugely important, obviously, for all life. Scott Harrison is on the phone to talk to us about this. He's the founder of something called Charity Water, raising awareness of the global water crisis and the hashtag 40 pounds challenge. We'll find out what that is. World Water Day is today. Let's find out why it's today and what we can do to help out the situation. Good morning, Scott Harrison. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Where are you right now?
I'm New York City.
New York City. New York City has some interesting water, doesn't it? I mean, you get your water from this lake 40 miles north of the city, don't you?
We do, and it tastes pretty good. They say New York drinking water, is perfectly good, and yet people are still buying the bottled water.
Yeah, it comes through this pipe underground from New York, so I kind of know this a little bit. But it just comes in. It has a natural pressure, and it pushes up through the whatever, and there you go. So,
amazing, right?
But can you imagine what it was like before that was done? I mean, there was a water supply in Manhattan somewhere. Not to be stuck on Manhattan, but but you're a perfect example of how buildings have created some water issues.
Yeah, and it's interesting. The issue we're talking about today. The global water crisis, and 663 million people around the world without clean water. This actually hit New York City. I mean, there's a time when the city was first founded where people were actually dying of cholera. There were waterborne diseases spreading. There was actually a cholera outbreak at Union Square, a place of great tourism now as a fountain was contaminated. So, yeah, I mean, Charity Water's been working for the last 10 years. We're actually founded here in New York City, and we're working around the world to make sure nobody is drinking dirty water. I heard you mention in California. What we see is people walking over 5 hours a day in some of these communities to get dirty water, carrying 40 pounds, 5 gallons on their back.
Oh, that's where the 40 pounds comes from.
Yeah, and they're getting water from swamps or ponds or rivers, sources we wouldn't let our animals drink from. And you've all seen those yellow jerry cans, right? The kind of the fuel cans.
Right.
So that, for us, we put gasoline in the mower, and over there it's how millions and millions of people are getting their water, 5 gallons, 40 pounds, and then they've got to carry it. For us, it's a toilet flush.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? So 5 gallons weighs 40 pounds.
You got it.
So how can we help? What is the hashtag 40 pounds challenge? What is that?
Yeah, so Charity Water, over the last 10 years has been working really just to raise awareness about this important issue. About 1 million donors around the world have come together and given, and that has allowed us to fund over 19,000 villages now in 24 countries, helping about 6.1 million people. So as we come up on 10 years, we've partnered today with Emergency, the brand, over the next couple years to focus on Ethiopia, one of these countries where the need is so great. And we've come up with this social challenge, basically, where someone would grab something that in their house that might be 40 pounds. Maybe it's a stack of books, maybe it's a pet, and just hold that and just try to imagine walking with that for hours. Imagine if that was water. Imagine walking. And we're asking people, hey, just post a picture of that. Use a hashtag 40 pounds, tag Emergency, and they will donate $5 to Charity Water for every single person that does that. And, one of the unique things about the organization from day one, we have always used 100% of donations to directly fund these water projects. We even prove every single project on Google Earth and Google Maps, so people can see exactly where the money is going.
Wow.
It's just a simple way that people can help today and maybe drive a little more empathy, maybe just for a second, understand what it might be like if you weren't born in a place where water comes freely out of the taps.
I think my accordion weighs 40 pounds.
Your accordion might. Larry, I take people to Africa, specifically to Ethiopia sometimes, and I'll give them 40 pounds and say, hey, carry this water for 15 or 20 minutes. And I've had people collapse after 10.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Can you imagine? I mean, that's a long way.
100-degree hot sun.
So I went to your website, charitywater.org.
Water.org.
Now, I found a picture I want to ask you about. It shows two pretty ladies, and between them is like this wooden tower that's got a faucet on it. So are you guys installing actual water faucets in some of these places?
Yeah, so a bunch of different solutions work in different countries. I think what you're looking at is a pipe system that we did in Rwanda. Charity Water has always been solution agnostic. Sometimes it's hand-dug wells. Sometimes we're drilling wells, like in the case of Ethiopia and this partnership. Sometimes big gravity-fed systems where we'll go and cap a mountain spring and then use gravity to take it down to the different communities. In Southeast Asia and Cambodia, we're doing biosand filters, these small filters that actually go in the household and can take the dirty surface water and clean it up.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So that's the thing. We actually know how to bring clean water to every single person on Earth. So,
well, because you know what?
Unlike so many of these challenges, right, there's no mystery cure that's going to be found in a test tube. A lot of different things work, but there hasn't been the political will. There hasn't really been the money thrown at this.
Well, and let me
issue.
and the money is what I wanted to ask you about, because I'm putting myself in the position of the listeners, and they're saying, okay, I'm going to put a picture of myself carrying 40 pounds, and money is going to be donated, but how does that money help? And that's kind of where I wanted you to take the conversation, and you sort of kind of just did.
Well, specifically in Ethiopia, it costs $10,000 to drill a well. So imagine you're living in a community of 300 people, and on Monday, so you've never had clean water before in your entire life. You might have lost a child or two to diarrhea under the age of 5. And then on Monday, you hear this thundering sound, and $1 million drilling rig, compressors and trucks come barreling down the path. They start drilling. 3 days later, they strike water, and the geyser of clean water shoots up.
Wow.
The entire community gathers around. People are dancing, clapping, shouting, screaming with joy. A week later, 7 days later, everyone is drinking clean water. So imagine that, 2,000 people doing it times $5. That's one community.
You're awesome. That's awesome.
Maybe there are people listening that can sponsor an entire village. We have a lot of families actually come together and say, we're going to give up Christmas gifts, or we're going to donate our birthdays and not accept gifts, and come together and help, an entire community get access to clean water.
Now, when these wells are created like that and they come up, do you have individual faucet entry points? Do you run piping to the individual homes, or is this like one big community well like you see in the movies where you lower buckets down? How does this work?
Yeah, and Robin, it's all of those are true except the last. The last is the thing that we're trying to actually prevent, the open well where you might see the buckets lowered. That would be contaminated water. So all these would be protected systems. In the case of Ethiopia, it's drilling water. It's a hand pump. So you can pump out about 5 gallons or 40 pounds of clean water every minute. Charity Water also has been really trying to innovate when it comes to the sustainability. We're actually putting sensors. We're putting remote sensors in these far-flung villages on these water points so that we know how much water is flowing, that we know that these wells are actually productive and are continuing to work for many years to come. I just looked at a sensor report recently that found 8,000 liters were being pumped every single day from one of these Ethiopian wells. So imagine, holding up a bottle of Poland Spring.
That's awesome.
Right? One of those 1 liter bottles. Imagine filling 8,000 of those bottles every day for free because a community came together and $10,000 was raised.
Scott, you are awesome. I love what you're doing. I mean, you represent what I believe this world is mostly full of, which is people doing great things for other people. I mean, the news is filled with a few people doing horrible things, but I just think what you're doing is so beautiful, and it is definitely something I am behind. Gosh, why can't the whole world?
I appreciate the optimism, Larry.
Why can't the whole world be like this? That. Yeah, I think when you meet people, Scott, you're doing something wonderful. Thank you for coming on the air to share this with us. Charitywater.org is where I went to for the website. Any other information we need to leave the listeners with before we say goodbye?
For this partnership, they've got a website set up at emergencytransforms.com. So the word emergency, drop the Y, and then transforms.com.
Emergent, and then the letter C?
Yeah, emergency transforms.com.
Okay. We'll put that on our website, and we will participate. We'll photograph something that's 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott, you and your team, please thank them all for being great examples of what we should all be doing as human beings. Thank you, Scott.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
That was really beautiful. We will take a break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Brad. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a pilot's license. This will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place.
Jean Powell Pasture Mowing. Jean and Debbie would like to thank you for another successful year of business. We also want to wish everybody a safe, healthy, and prosperous 2016. We are ready to be of service with our pasture mowing. 352-629-2440. Locally owned and operated, experienced and reliable, commercial and residential, licensed and insured. Powell Jean, Gene, at yahoo.com. 352-629-2440. Jean Powell Pasture Mowing. 352-629-2440.
WWOCA, WWOCA.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Hi, I'm Fran Darkington. When I need news, I pass the rest and tune to the source. WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Mostly sunny today with a warmer afternoon, a high of 70 to 75. Clear tonight, a low 46 to 58, and tomorrow looks gorgeous, bright and sunny with a high of 77 to 81. Shower thunderstorm in the area Thursday. Most cities partly sunny and nice, high of 82 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Maggie Johnson.
Thank you, Maggie. 12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. If you are talented and you would like to help out, have some fun with your talent and also help out a really wonderful organization, the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch is the best way to describe it. And Joe Martone described it to me as an orphanage, so I'm going to use that word. And they help children, not just children. I think the oldest person there is 22 years old. So 0 to 22 years old, that's who is over at the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch. And they are in need of some funds. So they have come up with this idea to have a talent show, and it's called Ocala's Got Talent. And this is the third year. Joe Martone is the MC of the event. Joe, right here from WOCA. Mm-hmm. There is no better MC, by the way, than Joe Martone.
No, he's fabulous.
He's really, really good at this. And it costs $25 to audition. And if you pass the audition, then you will be one of 50 contestants. Mm-hmm. And of those 50 contestants, eventually be narrowed down to 10 and then down to 5. And those contestants will be competing in May on 2 different dates, the 7th, I think, and the 21st, something like that. And the top winner will receive $1,000. The second winner will receive $500. And the third winner will receive $250. And everybody will have fun.
Yes.
Not only that, but everybody will be contributing to a really great cause, people doing great things to help other people. I'm so proud that WOCA has been able to say that we've been helping people who are helping people for as long as I can remember. The audition dates are April 2nd, April 9th, April 16th, April 23rd, and April 30th, and they kind of stagger throughout the day depending on what's most convenient for you as an auditioning person. So if you can sing, you can dance, it doesn't matter how old you are. What else? What are the other talents out there? Maybe you're a magician, maybe you're a ventriloquist, I can't even think of what all the talents are. Maybe you play an instrument. Maybe you're like a singer or a band. Maybe you can be a whole band. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Animal tricks.
Animal tricks, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so call a lady named Stormy Helton. Just call Stormy. Her number is 352-595-7100 and ask Stormy about this. You can go to the website for the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch and see this all for yourself. Mm-hmm. The website is HOF, as in Florida, YR, as in Youth Ranch. So it's Heart of Florida Youth Ranch, HOFYR.org.
Right.
And you'll be able to look it up yourself. Anyway, $25 is the audition fee. By the way, if you want to be in the audience, it's a $5 ticket fee, and the money all goes to help out the young folks up at the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch who
That's right.
They have nothing else. They have nothing else.
No,
they don't have
ranch.
family. They don't have anybody. Mm-mm. They have the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch. Thank God for the Heart of Florida. Thank God for people like that.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. There's so many people in this world, and most people are trying to do good things. We have a few knuckleheads that don't.
Mm-hmm. No,
and they make the news.
Yeah.
Anyway, go do this, and if you've got a talent, just have fun with that talent. That's the awesomest thing, right? Mm-hmm. All right, I promised you early this morning that I had a story about how maple syrup might be able to help with Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not the expert. I'm just telling you about a news story. So let me read this to you. New research shows that pure maple syrup, this is not the kind that has as its main ingredient, what is it called? Fructose, high fructose corn syrup.
Yep.
Okay. Not that stuff, but the actual maple syrup. Bless you.
That comes out of the tree.
Actual maple syrup contains natural compounds that hold promise in the fight against Alzheimer's disease. Mm-hmm. The findings, presented as part of a 2-day symposium at the annual meeting of the American Chemical Society, are based on analysis of 24 studies exploring the beneficial effects of natural products on the prevention and neurodegenerative diseases, particularly Alzheimer's.
Wow. Isn't that something?
It is absolutely fascinating when you see a study like this. Okay, a group of international scientists that conducted the review found for the first time that real maple syrup, real, if you go to the grocery store and buy it, it will be more expensive, and the bottles are usually smaller.
Yeah.
But I think it tastes better because we did buy it one time.
Yeah.
So more expensive. So you want to have pancakes? Get the real maple syrup.
More concentrated.
It is a healthful, functional food. This is according to the scientists, that shows promise in protecting brain cells against the kind of damage found in Alzheimer's patients.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that something?
I think this is fascinating.
It is fascinating.
One study presented by Dr. Donald Weaver from the Krembil Research Institute of the University of Toronto. Do I have enough time for all this? Yes, I do. Found that an extract of maple syrup may help prevent the clumping of 2 types of dementia-linked proteins found in brain cells.
Wow.
I'm going to read you them, probably mispronounce them. They are, the 2 types are called beta amyloid, I'll spell them in a second, and tau peptide.
Okay.
Okay. Beta amyloid, 2 words, BETA for beta.
Okay.
Amyloid, which I'm probably mispronouncing, is spelled AM, as in Mary, YLOID, as in David. Beta amyloid. Tau peptide, it's 2 words, TAU, like Thomas Alpha Umbrella, tau. And then peptide is PEP, as in Paul Everett, yeah. And then tide, TIDE, so that's 1 word, peptide, so tau peptide. When cellular proteins clump together, they accumulate and form the plaque that is involved in the pathogenesis of Alzheimer's and other brain diseases.
Isn't that something?
And the maple syrup helps to prevent the clumping of those 2 proteins. Mm-hmm. See that?
Yeah.
So these 2 things clump together, and that's what causes some of the dementia, including Alzheimer's and other brain diseases, by the way. And simply eating, am I making this too simplistic? Maybe I am. But the way I read this simply eating or ingesting maple syrup. Now, it does say an extract of maple syrup. I don't know if that means there's a pill now for it. Whatever. Other research presented at the symposium showed that a pure maple syrup extract prevented the tangling of beta amyloid proteins and offered protective effects to brain cells and may prolong the lifespans of those with Alzheimer's.
Isn't that something? Wow.
And we had a nut come in here one time.
Yeah, it's been a few.
Who wanted me to interview him.
Yes.
Because he had a bath oil that he said he got the recipe from God.
Yes.
Who projected it in light on a wall, and he wrote it down, and he went out and got the herbs and the seeds, and he made this oil. And if you put the oil in your bath water and put an Alzheimer's person in the bathtub, they would be cured of Alzheimer's.
And they could drink it while they're sitting in the bathtub.
Oh, they could drink it, bathe in it. Yeah, and it would cure them of Alzheimer's.
Right.
I refused to do the interview based on this one question that I asked him. I asked him this question. Why are you charging for it?
Yes.
I said, why are you keeping the formula a secret when you have the cure for Alzheimer's? If God gave me the cure for Alzheimer's, I would go on Facebook and say, God just gave me the cure for Alzheimer's. Here's the recipe.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Exactly.
I would not be saying you buy a bottle of this for $59 and you'll be cured. I would not be saying that.
No. And you take it to all the
So
hospitals.
he couldn't answer. He couldn't answer, and I knew the answer. The answer was because he wants to make money, and he made the.
He's a liar.
I almost said a bad word. He made it all up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So now these people in this article are not selling anything. They don't care where you get the not pancake syrup,
maple syrup.
The maple syrup from.
Exactly. Go find a maple syrup tree,
All right,
knock
so-
a hole in it, let it come out.
Well, no, don't do that.
Go to Vermont, they got
Just
all
get
those
some maple
trees up
syrup,
there.
real maple syrup. All right, here's what Dr. Navindra P. Seeram said. Dr. Seeram is the organizer of the symposium.
Okay.
And I don't know if Dr. Navindra is a man or a woman. I don't know. Navindra sounds like a lady's name, but
Yeah. You never know.
Dr. Seeram said, natural food products such as green tea, red wine, berries, curcumin, is that how you
Yes.
say it? And pomegranates continue to be studied for their potential benefits in combating Alzheimer's disease. And now, in preliminary laboratory-based Alzheimer's disease studies, phenolic-enriched extracts of maple syrup from Canada, now it's coming from Canada,
Okay.
showed neuroprotective effects similar to resveratrol, a compound found in red wine.
Yeah, and that's pretty good too. I mean, gosh.
These preliminary findings echo discoveries made over the past few years on syrup that comes directly from the sap of the maple tree, making it an all-natural product with unique health benefits. According to the Alzheimer's Association, every 67 seconds, someone in the United States develops Alzheimer's disease, a condition that cannot be cured, prevented, or even slowed down.
Gosh.
It is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, afflicting 11% of the U.S. population over the age of 65.
It's awful. It's awful.
So,
And you don't have to have syrup just on your pancakes. I like mine on my scrambled eggs and toast. I mean, you can be inventive with it.
well, I'm just telling
Gosh.
you. And I'm not telling you I know any of this stuff, but this was
I
a story
believe
that
it.
came out yesterday. And I will put a link on the WOCA Facebook page so you can all share this and digest it and maybe do research on your own. But that's what it said. And when I saw that story, I said to myself, I have to tell the listeners about this story the same way as if I had the cure for anything. I would let you know. I'm not going to try to make money on stuff like that.
No,
And I wouldn't spread it if I thought somebody else was trying to make money on it.
of course.
I mean, they don't give any company to go to. They don't. All they say is, drink tea, red wine, berries,
Yeah, exactly.
and now maple syrup. Who knew?
That's right.
There could be an ulterior motive. I mean, you can have some skepticism. It's a healthy thing.
Yeah.
Skepticism. Where's my music?
I don't know, but I'm going to try it. I like syrup.
You can try it. All right, we'll take a little break and be right back. What's up next?
We have Joshua Friedman.
Broadcasting from the
All right.
Studios. This is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Lillian Wu. President Obama speaking out on this morning's terror attacks in Brussels, which have killed at least 31 people.
We can and we will defeat those who threaten the safety and security of people all around the world.
Speaking ahead of his planned address before roughly 1,000 people in Havana, Cuba, in which he said he was there to bury the last remnant of the Cold War in the Americas. GOP presidential candidates like Ohio Governor John Kasich weighing in.
I think what the president needs to do is to come home, to communicate with all the heads of state, to put together a team of people to examine our vulnerabilities, to develop a much deeper and closely coordinated intelligence operation.
Speaking to Fox News, voters choosing their Republican presidential candidate in Arizona, Utah, and American Samoa today. For Democrats, it's Arizona, Utah, and Idaho. Fox News. We